Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to go through my favorite VR accessories that you definitely need to make your VR experience all that bit better. We're going to start straight away with the Varjo Aero. Now, as great as this headset really is, and it is the best VR headset we have right now, it isn't perfect, of course, and the first thing I'm going to really highlight here is that a headset of this expense should definitely have VR lens inserts. Now, there's a number of reasons why you should have VR lens inserts even if you don't wear glasses, and that is simply because you need to protect your eyes and your lenses. Blue light filters are essential in my opinion, especially if you like flying, say at night time. It really does help you sleep at night. Now, there's a number of different products that you could use for the Varjo Aero, but so far, my favourite, this might shock you, is actually the VR Lens Lab inserts. Now, comparing them to the VR Opticians, which are really good lens inserts as well, for me personally, there's a little bit less glare, and the whole picture for me seems that bit clearer. Now, I've no idea why that's the case, and perhaps it's just down to personal preference, but they do have a number of different features that I have not seen on any other lens insert provider, including a radiation shield that blocks out electro smog and interference. I've never heard of that one before, and it does sound very cool. I'm no scientist, but anything that helps protect my eyes, I'm all for that. Now, something else that sets VR Lens Lab apart is they offer a set of slimline glasses. So perhaps if you don't really want to use VR lens inserts, or if you've got multiple VR headsets, this is something that could be an option for you. And they are actually very comfortable, but to be honest, I prefer the VR lens inserts, particularly for the Aero, and over the competition, they're definitely my favourite so far. I think the only other thing to mention before I do move on is that the VR Lens Lab inserts seem to be a bit cheaper for prescription lenses. For Plano lens inserts, they're a bit more than VR Opticians if you add the Comfort Relax Eye set, which I definitely recommend because I've been using these now for about a week and I do find them just that little bit clearer. I also noticed that they pay for your import duties and tax, which is, in this day and age, very important indeed. Right, anyway, before this video becomes an entire day, let's move on. The next essential VR accessory is related to all VR headsets, and that is the Studio Form Balancer Kit. This is something I have shown on the channel a number of times now, and essentially what it does is distribute the weight of the headset evenly around your head, and with the likes of the Reverb and Quest 2, that means that you'll always stay in the center sweet spot. Otherwise you'll be messing around all the time. You probably have done that because we all have, but I'd recommend these Studio Form Balancer kits, particularly because not only does it keep that sweet spot completely clear, it also makes the whole thing very comfortable. For instance, the Pimax 8Kx is very front heavy, and I used to find it would kind of hit the front of my nose, well the back of my nose rather. But with the Studio Form Balancer kits, I can wear it for hours and hours on end. Now, I did have a discount code running. I'm not sure if it still works, but feel free to try it. And they are for all VR headsets. Highly recommended. And if you haven't got one yet, well, where have you been? So let's now move on to the Quest 2. Now, there's three essential VR accessories that I'd recommend. The first one being the Orbica battery head strap. Simply because most people that have the Quest 2 will want to use it completely wireless. And with the Orbica head strap, not only is it extremely comfortable, I mean really comfortable, you can also use it for about 4 to 5 hours at a time. In fact, I did a video, funny enough, of me flying from London to Scotland in a little Piper, and I did the entire flight. It took me about 4.5, 5 hours, completely on Airlink. So I would definitely recommend that. The next thing is the Orbica controller grips. Now, they've just been released at the time of recording, and the idea is they come with their own special battery, as you can see there. Now, the great thing here is that they also will have a charge port on the bottom, so you never need to replace the batteries ever again. Just charge them up like you would, say, the index controllers. I think that is genius. I think the only other thing to mention about these grips is that you can actually, have a strap over your hand So that way you don't have to keep sort of holding the controllers all the time. Again, very much like the index controllers. So I'd highly recommend them. I will have a link in the description below of all things Orbica, because actually I think they're rocking it right now and overtaking the likes of Kiwi and many other VR accessories. So another VR accessory, again this one applies to all VR headsets, and that is the VR cover range of facial interfaces. And whether you've got a Reverb G2 or Quest, they are absolutely essential because they give you better field of view and a lot more comfort and better hygiene as well, because I prefer to sort of wipe my facial interface down after a long session with a wet wipe, you know, just to keep it looking fresh. You can't really do that with a fabric facial interface, so I definitely recommend them. I'll have links in the description below of all of the ones that I recommend for the Reverb and Quest. As mentioned at the start of this video, which is getting quite long now, but I hope you're still with me. And please do let me know in the comments if you're still watching this. Just post in the comments below, I'm still here, just so I know that you are watching this far. And I'll make sure that I reply personally to each and every one of you for it. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, lens inserts, they're so important, folks. And for the Reverb G2 and Quest 2, well, I personally prefer VR Wave, and they're actually a sponsor now for this channel simply because I love them so much. I think they are very competitive in their price and pretty much the best out there, especially for the G2 and Quest 2. Now, the great thing about them is that they cater for people that have nearsightedness or farsightedness or any astigmatism as well. And they also come with a blue light filter, which I think is very essential. And whether you do wear glasses or not, folks, just get some, because those lenses on your VR headset are so important. And we've all done it, including me. When you scratch your lens, and you can see it in VR, that is game over, folks. Your VR headset, well, I don't think there's any way that you can repair that. So it may seem like a bit of an outlay to start with, but you will absolutely be glad of doing that, you know, later on down the road. But for glasses wearers, it's an absolute no-brainer. You know, the prescription lens inserts are superb, and I haven't heard of a bad story yet of anyone using VR Wave lens inserts. Now for my last recommended VR accessory, particularly for this year anyway, until anything new comes along, is for Pimax users. And in fact, you're quite limited when it comes to lens inserts, but VR Rock seem to have you covered. I did try them out and I've got a review on the channel. However, since then, they've got some new design lens inserts that are easier to install, and they come as one piece. Not to mention that the field of view is much better now. And that is good to know, because when I did my review, I did notice that in my peripheral vision, just the frames of the lens inserts coming into view. So that'll be good if they've improved that. Of course, they come with the usual anti-blue light filter, anti-glare, anti-scratch. And I do have a discount code. Feel free to use it. And again, you know, for Pimax users with those huge lenses, even if you don't wear glasses, I'd recommend getting a pair just to protect them. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I do really appreciate it. If there's something you just cannot live without that I haven't mentioned in this video, please do let me know in the comments below. I really do appreciate all your support. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now.